Is this it? Are we happening? Hi, everybody. I'm Denise, and welcome to Cooking with Denise. A cooking show, right? It's crazy. But I'm a singer, and everybody knows that singers love to eat. Singers love to sing and love to eat. About a week ago, I did the sit down with Larry Brownlee, and talked about my life here on the farm. I live on a farm. I live in New York, and I also live on a farm outside of Maryland. And I was telling him about my life here on the farm. And after that broadcast, so many people wrote to me, so many emails, so many notices from the website, from Instagram, and everybody kept saying, we would love to see you cook since you spoke about cooking so much. So that, along with the fact that I've always loved cooking, and I've been cooking since I was really, really little, and I've always loved things to be beautiful, and I loved beautiful presentations, and to be able to do that and share that with my family and friends. So this is our inaugural broadcast of Cooking with Denise. And today's menu is quite ambitious, a bit weird too, because we are cooking with things from my garden. Zucchini. Zucchini is one of the big things that we're going to be using today. And I am joined today with a wonderful colleague of mine, Reggie Smith. Now, Reggie and I were together in the Met's recent production of Porgy and Bess. And in Act 2, just before the curtain went up, we were in Mariah's Fish Tavern. I played the role of Mariah. And all we talked about, and I mean all we talked about, was, what did you cook last night? Well, what did you cook last night? Oh, that sounds delicious. Bring me some in the next performance. And so he would fix something and bring it to me, and I would cook something and bring it to him. So when this idea was coming to fruition about doing this cooking show, I thought, I've got to have Reggie, because we talked about cooking and singing all the time. So today we are going to be making with zucchini, zucchini gratin, zucchini bread, and stuffed pork chops. We're actually stuffing stuffed pork chops. So Reggie, are you there? Are you ready? Should we get into it? Okay, very good. So we're going to start with the zucchini gratin. And because we've got so much to get through, we're just going to get through it as fast as we can. I'll tell you all a little bit about what goes into this. But I wanted you to see this zucchini first before I cut it. I've already used some of zucchini already. But what happens here is we need to take 6 tablespoons of butter and melt that. Okay, are you cooking with me at the same time, Reggie?
I'm transferring things, of course. So I
got all right, so 6 tablespoons of butter, all right? Because what's wrong with that? Nothing. That's just as fabulous as you can be. And then from that, you take 3 onions and you cut that up and you saute that. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Are you okay, Reggie? I know you probably couldn't sleep last night. For those of you who were kind enough to help us, we were it was like such a boomer thing. We were on Facebook last night doing a couple of tests and trying to figure out how we wanted to present this. And we got a lot of help and a lot of support from everybody in the audience. So thank you to everyone who was so helpful to us last night. But we didn't get very much sleep, though, did we, Reggie? We were texting each other up until 1 a.m. What are you going to do? Did you buy this? Are you going to bake the cornbread? Are you going to buy it?
Well, again,
everybody
I was just going to buy some cornbread. But since you decided to be fancy and make cornbread, I said I can't have Denise outdoing me. So.
Okay. All right, so we're going to saute. You're going to melt that butter. You melting your butter, Reggie?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You see I got my butter going?
Yep, that's being melted over here. I've got that going in my pan. And then you're going to take 3 onions. And you're going to put that in.
Yeah.
Saute that.
All right.
And you want to saute it until it's clear, but don't let it get brown, okay? So just keep that moving. And then later we're going to do some fantastic cornbread stuffing that Reggie I don't. Where'd you get that recipe, Reggie? The cornbread stuffing. I mean the stuffed cornbread.
Well, it's one of those things I think I saw online, and I thought,
Oh, is that right?
you know what, I can make that work, and so I kind of adapted my own version of it.
Oh,
So,
I cannot wait. I cannot wait to taste that. Okay, so the onions are sauteing. That's getting going.
you know, this is my first time making gratin with zucchini.
Is that right?
Of course, I've used potato, I've used cauliflower, but
Oh,
I've never thought to use zucchini. So I'm looking forward to it, actually.
right. Actually, that suggestion came from my pianist, Laura. I don't know if she's in the audience. Hey, Laura. I was showing her what was growing in my garden. Actually, these came from my daughter's garden, and there were so many of them. And I said, "Gee, what am I going to do with that?" And sometimes I share with the neighbor who doesn't live so far away. She'll bring me tomatoes from her garden, and sometimes she'll make something wonderful, and she'll send it to me, and I'll make something and send it back to her. But Laura said to me, "Oh, Denyce, you should do zucchini gratin, which is a casserole, right?" So it's just a fancy word for casserole. It's like it's a light brown crust of breadcrumbs or either melted cheese. So that's where the gratin comes from. But we're opera singers, so we have to say it the right way and not gratin. Right?
Gratin.
Gratin.
Well, but you
How
know,
you
I'm
doing
from
there?
Georgia, so we have to say gratin.
All right. How you doing with your sautéing?
I'm good. I'm making my gratin.
Very good. That's coming along. So when I was a little girl, I'm one of three in my family. My mother did the right thing. I should have done what she did with us, because my mother was busy working, and we were sort of the original latchkey kids. My mother would assign us either you had a week of cooking, or you had a week of cleaning, yeah, doing the dishes, or cleaning the house. And so when she came home, we had to have dinner on the table for her. So that's when I started cooking very, very, very early on. And in terms of presentation and making things beautiful, which is so important to me, my mother said that when I was little, whatever store we would go into, and hi, Mom, if you're there in the audience, whichever store we'd go into, I'd run to the thing that was the most beautiful, the most extravagant, and the most expensive all the time. And I always wanted something big and beautiful. And she said, you're never satisfied with things being, you always have to be. That was before we used to say, people putting the X in extra, right? But I guess I was like that as a little girl. So you're coming along with that?
Yeah, we're almost
All right. So
translucent.
while that's happening, I think we should move it along. And I'm going to cut into this wonderful zucchini. I wanted to save and do that when everybody was here online,
Yeah.
because I wanted to show everybody how gigantic it was. All right. So because after you do this, you're going to put your zucchini in there. So you need to have that chopped and ready to go. I already
I'm
have
ready.
it chopped already. How are you coming along with that?
Ta-da! I have my zucchini chopped already.
Very, very good. Very good. Because you're going to put that in there once your onions are done, and about 4 zucchini. And you cook that all together for about, I don't know,
Maybe I'll do another one.
10 minutes or so. First, you cook it for 10 minutes covered, and then you uncover it, and you add in your salt and your pepper and your nutmeg, and the nutmeg makes it so delicious. So yummy. Good. And then you keep that on for about 5 minutes, and you cook it that way.
Have you already added your zucchini?
I'm sorry I didn't hear you.
Have you added your zucchini already?
Not yet. Not yet. But I'm just about there.
Okay. Yeah.
It depends on how high you've got the burner up.
Okay.
I'm going to have to cut this in half because it's so big. I think that these squares won't do it. This is what I'm getting. They're huge. So I'm going to cut those in half. Right? so we can fit it into the pan because it's just so much. Let me get back over here and see what's going on with that. You're going to eventually make a sauce with that. All right, that's good. So do you want to add your zucchini now, Reggie?
Yep. We're starting to smell good over here.
I know. And wait until the nutmeg gets in there. When the nutmeg gets in there, fabulous. So delicious. I wish you could just smell it. So wonderful. All right, here we go with the zucchini.
We're gonna get all the zucchini.
Quite a lot here. Very good. We're going to try and keep this moving and try and keep it an hour and a half max so we can chat some too. And we've got a lot to get through today. So we're going to have a lot of things happening simultaneously. Whoops. I lost one on the floor. Where's the dog when you need her? I don't know if you like the zucchini. So who doesn't like zucchini? Even my kids like zucchini, and they're so picky. Max actually likes anything, but Ella's very picky. Yes, darling.
You're adding salt, pepper, and
nutmeg. But first, Reggie, you're gonna cook that for about 10 minutes or so, or let that get cooked together well. I mean, 10 minutes is a long time for on air, but and then you're gonna keep that covered.
Okay.
For the time that you're cooking it, then you uncover it and you can add the salt, the pepper, and the nutmeg.
Awesome.
Right? All right, very good. So while that's happening, you also need to get together your flour. I don't know if you have that prepped already.
Over here in the corner.
You're gonna have to because you're gonna make a sauce with that.
Oh, that's right.
I have flour prepped in my salt and pepper and nutmeg here together. You're gonna make a sauce with that. You're gonna put in flour and some hot milk, but that comes later. Not yet. So while that is cooking, what I'm gonna do is start grating some more zucchini. That's gonna be for the zucchini bread. Look at this big mama. Mamma mia.
What other vegetables do you have in your garden?
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking. So much. Butternut squash. I've got tons and tons of peppers going. I've got lots of lettuces. Cucumber. There's one that was here. This came from the garden just the other day. A lot of root vegetables. Right. Potatoes. We've got some parsnips because my husband loves that. There's lots of flowering going on there. It's just gorgeous to see, and my kids didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it at first, especially Max was like, oh, that's for girls. And now they're really proud. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really happy for them, because in this age where everybody spends so much time disconnected, one of the benefits that's come out of this time of everybody being at home together is that it has afforded us the opportunity to reconnect, if we choose to do that, to reconnect with what's important and to be still and to be with family. So I'm convinced, as I said to Lawrence Brownlee, that there are going to probably be a lot of babies that come out of this period and a lot of divorces too. I guess. How you doing over there?
Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm just prepping my pork chops.
All right. So I'm just doing some, I may have to get some other things going simultaneously.
Yeah, multitasking.
Right, multitasking. Very good. Because all I need to do really now is to wait for the onion and the zucchini to cook. But while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and grate this zucchini for the zucchini bread. Okay? And then we've got those spectacular pork chops, which I cannot wait. Look so gorgeous. All right, there we go. Very, very, very good. Excellent. Hey, Reggie, do you
Yes.
mind if I throw you a curveball?
I don't mind at all.
What if we, only because I just have this, what if we skip now to the zucchini bread while that's cooking?
Sure.
And then we can end up with the pork chops. What do you think about that?
That's totally fine.
Only because we still have to wait for this to cook, right?
Mm-hmm. And you have all the zucchini ready, so.
Yeah, I'm all set on this end. But this just needs to cook, and there's nothing that we can do about that
Well,
until we, now what I do with my cell phone. So my cell phone and my glasses are the things that get. So while that's cooking, Reggie, you need to know that you've got to have your salt, your pepper, and your nutmeg ready, and then your flour, and then you're going to need a cup of hot milk
okay.
to make a sauce. You put that all together. Once that's done, you pour it in the casserole pan, put some breadcrumbs on top, some Gruyere cheese, boom. Put it in the oven, done.
Boom.
You're done. Okay? So I'm gonna jump ahead while that's doing that.
You go ahead. I'm going to grab my nutmeg and all of those delicious
And I'll get
things.
going with the zucchini bread, okay? Now, this goes into a 400-degree oven, but the zucchini bread, you need at 350, all right? So I'm going to change this oven down here to 350, and I'm going to expose myself a little bit because I already cooked it, and it's hanging out in the oven. I'll put that there. All right, very good. This is going to be a great Sunday dinner. I always looked forward to this when I was a little girl because we were in church all the time, but I always so look forward to coming home to Sunday dinner. And we often had that with my aunt. Hi, Aunt Liv. I don't know if she's, hi, my sweet Aunt Liv, and my wonderful mom, if you're in the audience. All right, so while that's heating up, I'm going to get going with the zucchini bread, all right? 325 is what we want. It's going to actually get to. So in a mixing bowl, you sift together the flour, baking soda. I've already done that. Mix the sugar, the oil, and the eggs. Sugar, I've got that, the oil, and beaten eggs in a separate bowl. All right, let me get my eggs. I wanted to have chickens. We used to have guinea fowl back in the day when we first lived here, but they were so scary and ugly. My husband wanted them because they keep the ticks away because we've got this large space. But they're really frightening looking creatures. Anyway, and then some years ago, back in, was it 2011? We had a huge fire that burned everything. Actually, the entire house to the ground. And that was quite something. Fortunately for us, and all praise to God, no one was here when that happened. We were away on a camping trip, which the insurance company thought was kind of suspicious, but it wasn't. That was just how it went. All right, so I'm beating up my eggs. For the zucchini bread, you need 2 eggs here. So let me just tell you what you need for the zucchini bread, everybody. All right. So, well, you need nonstick cooking spray. Okay, you need flour, 3 cups of flour. You need baking soda, baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of salt, 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of vegetable oil, and 3 large eggs beaten. And I just grabbed 2. Oh, do you know what happened? I think what happened is that it switched to another recipe. It's like that episode on Friends that time. I'm using the recipe that's from the Food Network because I like the Food Network. But on my cell phone where I'm looking at the recipe, it switched to Trisha Yearwood's. And I knew it said 2 eggs. I didn't think I was going. Yeah, it said 2 eggs. It's like that time, that episode on Friends where she was making a trifle and then the pages got stuck together and she added ground beef or something from a lasagna. It would have kind of been like that. Anyway, so here's where I am now. Whisk together the flour, the cinnamon. We've done that. Beat the sugar, the oil, and they ask you here to put in 2 tablespoons of apple butter so that it doesn't get dry. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add in some apple butter.
What's fancy?
Yeah, I haven't started to make that kind of thing. When the kids were little, I used to, make all the food and stuff, but I would love to do that sort of thing. And
yeah.
canning.
I've never made apple butter. I wonder how you kind of churn it up and,
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the next quarantine project.
Oh, well, let's hope that we find our way through this,
Agreed.
Have you been cooking the whole time, through?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's been a good cathartic thing, I suppose.
Sure. I agree with that. I know
Plus,
how.
as you know, so often you're on the road and you don't get a chance to cook or you just miss your own kitchen,
Sure, of course.
So some of it was making up for lost time. Okay. My zucchini's starting to get nice and tender and
Ooh, I better check
onions
mine.
and
What's going on
it.
back here? All right.
This tastes good.
It's happening. Yes.
Come on.
We are moving and shaking over here. Very, very, very good. Oh, it smells just divine. Oh.
Yeah, look at that. See?
I always thought that the smells sometimes are better than.
That's true. It smells delicious in
like
here.
Popcorn, the smell of popcorn, or coffee, which I don't drink normally, but the smell, I wish I could eat the smell, is delicious.
See? I'm not a big coffee drinker either, but I love the smell of like fresh, especially if it's like a hazelnut or something like that.
Beautiful.
It's delicious. I don't necessarily want to drink it, but I love the smell of it.
Right, I understand.
Okay. I'm letting you take over the zucchini bread. They'll give me time to prep my pork chops here. Please keep going. Don't mind me.
All right, I'm going to turn this on. It's going to make some noise because I'm going to get the wet ingredients going here. All right, now here we go. All right, it's important when you're putting together, what I can tell you about the wet ingredients is that if the recipe says to do that on low or medium, do it on low or medium. Do not do that on high because it will seize up on you. And that happened to me for sure. So you have to be very meticulous and follow exactly, the directions. It says to beat the sugar, the oil, the apple butter, vanilla, and the eggs with an electric meat on medium speed. So I can go up a little bit more. I'm being super conservative.
Flour.
And then you add the flour mixture. Okay? And I've got that all together. I'm going to still check here, see what's going on.
Butter.
My zucchini. The zucchini is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's a shame that it's the quarantine, right? Because I would love to have so many people over eating this and sharing this together with us.
I feel as though some people will still come and knock on my door later on.
I know.
And they know who they are.
They know who they are.
They're already texting. Is that what you said?
Say, Reggie, have you added in your salt and pepper and nutmeg now?
No, but I can.
Not yet?
I will do it right now.
You don't have to, darling. I mean, you can better judge when it's time for that to happen.
It's getting good. Come on in. So get a little.
Then when you do that, then you leave that uncovered.
Sure.
Okay.
A little salt.
I'm adding in my flour and cinnamon into the zucchini bread. Because today, we're trying to use as much zucchini up as possible. Ah, perfect.
Which will
Looks
set
delicious.
it off. And then we just stir this in.
Do you have different things coming up, Reggie?
I do. Actually, I recorded a recital
Did
on
you really?
Friday. So
Did you really?
one of those wonderful online things. And
Sure.
I performed everything from revel to rent, as I called it. Because I did. Why not, you know? And then I have a recital coming up, the Houston Grand Opera, actually.
Do you really?
Yes, which I'm so looking forward to. It's with Richard Beto at the piano. And
Oh,
it's for
I
their
love
new
that.
digital media thing. The other thing that I'm really excited about that recital is that I picked music by African American composers, but I wanted to choose music that showed the strengths and the Black excellence of Black people and the composers. So often we're asked to do things that are depressing or that deal with slavery, and those are important. But I also think it's important to show that Black people can write in German or that we can write about happiness. And
Excellent.
so I'm
Very
really
good.
excited about that recital.
Is that something that we can all see?
Yes, it'll be streamed, actually. I'm sure Houston Grand Opera, I think it starts October 9th. And the other recital is streaming October 3rd through Taste of Talent. So I have those things. And then I am a new member of the Atlanta Opera Players. So a new adaptation of trying to make the season work through the Atlanta Opera, which is where I'm from, Atlanta. So
Atlanta.
you better know it. It's almost as hot as Houston.
That's right. That's right. I'm getting together my 1 cup of milk that you're going to add. Once this gets done, you're going to add that 2 tablespoons of flour, and then you're going to add 1 cup of hot milk to that, and you're going to create a sauce, right? This is for the gratin.
And that's warm enough. So do you add the milk first and then your flour?
Yeah, the flour first.
Okay.
Get that going. And then but you have to heat the milk up, right? So you know that.
Yes. Are you doing it with like flour and butter to create like a roux?
I'm sorry, honey, I didn't hear what you said.
Sorry. I said, are you doing the flour and butter to make like a roux first, or are you just doing the flour in the pan?
I'm just doing the flour in there because there was quite a bit of butter. Remember, we started with 6 tablespoons of butter when we sauteed this. So there was quite a bit in there, but I mean, you know.
Oh, you're
butter.
adding it to the zucchini?
Yeah.
Oh,
you start out with the 6 tablespoons, remember, and then you put in the 3 onions, and you let that cook, and then you add the zucchini. I'm sorry, darling.
Look, I can save a dish. I'm okay with that.
You're okay with that. Right.
One less thing to cook. Cool.
That's right. Okay, I'm going to add in my flour now because things are really rocking and rolling over on this end.
Uh-huh.
So I'm adding the flour in, and then that's going to start to get creamy and thicken up.
Yep.
And when that starts to happen, you can heat up a cup of milk and put that in there. And that's awesome.
Got it.
And for my friend, if Laura Ward is in the audience, I want her to know that I'm using real milk. And when I say real milk, it's like 2%. But she and I were making one, I think it was actually Thanksgiving. Her mother, June, did some fantastic yeast rolls. And we were on FaceTime, and I pulled out some almond milk, for the yeast. She said, what in the world? Are you kidding me? What the heck is that? Somebody, what is almond milk? He said, Denyce, this is Thanksgiving. This is like the Olympics. You cannot take a risk. That's crazy to do something like that. You better go to the store and get some real milk, because I like cooking with sort of alternative things. I love, for example, coconut flour, which is what I did all of this with, because it smells just divine.
A little more. Yeah, there we go. That's
all right.
At first, I thought you were going to say you had a cow as well. I know you have at least one horse. Is that right?
Yeah, there are a few. So there's Poet, and he is the big gray one, and he's super, he's a bit of a bully, pushes people around. There's a brown one, Lady, and she is every bit of that, as delicate and beautiful as you might imagine. And there's Dasher, who's a small gray one. And whoops, that's my milk. It's ready. When the kids were young, they used to ride quite a lot. Okay, I'm adding in my hot milk. This is what's going on.
Yep.
All right, now, don't mess with me. Here we go. It's going to be delicious. All right. Now let that situate, get together. Let everybody hang out there. Party. And then you're going to dump that into your casserole pan when you're done with that.
Right, and mix
and then you can put the cheese and the breadcrumbs.
Great.
Hey, which ones do you do? Do you do the breadcrumbs first or do you do the cheese first?
I was just going to ask you if you mix them together.
All right. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Yeah, very good. So it's nice and even.
Maybe that's what I'll do.
Very good. Are you almost there with that?
My milk is starting to get a little.
Oh, you know what? You did something just fantastic, darling. You actually did it the real way. You did it on the stove. And I believe that, I mean, if you have the opportunity that you should do it on the stove. I like that far more than the microwave. I kind of took the fast and easy way out.
Mix it up a bit and add a little jalapeno.
All right. All right, we're good over here. Okay.
How's your zucchini bread?
Okay, it's happening. So I'm getting ready to put this into the casserole, okay?
Okay. I'm going to mix my breadcrumbs and cheese first and then...
You know what? Maybe I'm going to leave it a little bit longer to let it get a little bit thicker.
That's what I think I'm going to do with mine.
It can get a little bit thicker. I saw there was just a little bit too thin right now. Let me let that cook a little bit more, okay? And I put some of the, okay. So for the zucchini bread, I've added in some of the shredded zucchini into my mixture here. I actually think this could be wetter. I'm going to put a little bit more.
Cheese.
Another egg in here. And some more, maybe some more. A little bit dry for my taste.
Something.
So when are you scheduled to? Do you have contracts into next year that haven't been canceled?
Well,
it looks like it may.
Well, Derek off from Chicago, I'm supposed to do a staple of yours. I'm supposed to be in Samson and Delilah, and that's supposed to happen in January and February. And
21.
21.
Right.
And they still haven't canceled it. And, we'll see what happens, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a show that I have never been a part of.
Oh, I love that opera so much. It's really, really, honest to goodness, one of my favorite. I just love it. I love going to it, too. You know, when the Met did it last season, I went twice. I mean, I really absolutely love the music. I could sing it from beginning to end, everybody's parts.
When I was a student at the University of Kentucky, we would go over to Kentucky Opera to see shows. And I think it was the Louisville Symphony that did a performance of Samson and Delilah, I think my sophomore year, with Denyce Graves in concert. And I remember you changed your dress for each
Yes, honey, of course. Of course. I think that that's important to create another atmosphere, particularly if you have a concert version like you were talking about.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic.
Oh my goodness.
You see, I remember.
Who was Samson? Do you remember? I don't.
I don't, actually. I remember who Dalila was. Well.
I've such an incredible walk with her, and I'm grateful for every moment.
Do you have some things coming up or that were scheduled that
Sure, I've got lots.
Looking forward to?
Yeah. Well, first of all, this Wednesday, I've got an at-home gala for Washington Opera.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Then, I'm doing something, but I'm not sure that I'm actually able to speak about it because it's a surprise. But I'm doing another event on September 10th and then September 17th. And then I'm doing a PBS special at the end of September. I'm doing a lot. I'm doing a lot of master classes, a lot of things online. You know, when we had to move so quickly to it being online, is that I also, the conservatory, Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore.
That's right.
Yeah, and so we had.
Delicious already, by the way.
Get ready.
We're gonna just
get ready. All right, so listen. I am putting my zucchini bread. The zucchini bread goes in the 350 oven, so that goes down here. So that's going in. All right. Okay. Now, how's your zucchini doing?
It's starting to look real pretty. I'm just finishing off my breadcrumbs and my cheese.
Oh, you've already put it in your casserole.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But I also was not making zucchini bread, so I had a little advantage.
I'm putting it in my casserole right now. Ooh, man. Now I just put that. I need to make sure I set the timer because I just put that zucchini bread in. And how long is that supposed to be? I think that's about 50 minutes, 50. So, I'm sorry. That looks fabulous. Oh, let me see if everybody can see that because you're seeing, right? Can't see what's going on. So that's how it looks in the casserole. Can you see that? Okay, and then I'm going to add the breadcrumbs and the cheese together. Oh, and Reggie, something important. Put some butter.
That's right.
Butter on it.
Put some butter right over the top of it.
Yes. That's really important.
Where's that butter? Did I put it back in the fridge? Or no, it's right here.
Now, let me set the alarm. So it's been maybe 3 minutes, so I'll go and do that differently with the alarm. I'll do alarm for, let's see,
50. Sprinkle around the top. Maybe
50 minutes.
Oh, who am I kidding?
Yeah.
I'm fat. I like butter.
You like butter? Who doesn't like butter?
Skinny people. That's not true. Skinny people like butter too.
Oh, sure. I know a lot of people who. So I'm just going to kind of layer that a little bit. Some breadcrumbs, some cheese, some breadcrumbs, some cheese. Oh my goodness. You can't have enough cheese either. What kind of cheese are you using?
So I decided to use a mixture of mozzarella and jalapeno
Ooh, wow.
I wanted it to have a little kick to my gratin.
Yes. Very
That's how
good.
you take a. That's how you take a gratin and make it gratin.
Oh, I see. Is that what does it? I'll take your word for it.
Give it a little spice.
Yes.
Make it gratin.
All right, very good.
This needs to go away. Let me go
ahead. You put your dollop of butter there, and you're all set. I'm sorry, but that's beautiful. And I may just I think I'm just going to crack a little bit of pepper on top of that. And you put that in the oven. Let me see. How long does that go in for?
I'm not sure.
Is it 20 minutes or so? Let me just check. And you know that's in a 400-degree oven, Reggie.
Right.
Right.
But I have one oven, so we make it work.
Okay, very good.
This one.
So you added that.
Go away.
You added zucchini. Then
I will.
20 minutes. Yeah, that's
Cool.
20 minutes. Okay. So here we go. There it is. There's the final product. I mean, almost there. Getting there. That's going into the oven. Yum. Yum. Woo!
You got that yummy. Wait a minute.
All right. Is it pork chop time?
I believe so.
I believe so too. This is the part I've been waiting for. So when we were putting this together, I was saying to Reggie, I said, Reggie, we should cook just one thing. He was like, what? It's Sunday. It's Sunday dinner, Denyce. We got to have a main staple. And then he sent this recipe of the pork chops.
Well, and anyone who knows me knows that I put the X in extra as well. So if it's just one person coming over, I'm like, I have to make a hen and a turkey and 3 sides and a pie and Case in point, when you said you did not get any of the banana pudding at the Met, what did I do? I went home and made an entire new banana pudding.
I mean, I couldn't even believe it. And that was good banana pudding because my mom makes an excellent banana pudding, but that one was something. That was delicious. I loved it. And that was so incredible of you. And so just shows your just magnificent, gorgeous heart and how kind you are. And I really did appreciate it. I was very, very, very touched by that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, honey, pork chop time. Let's get going.
I'm going to rinse this off so I can move these around.
Are you sing?
You have to start with your stuffing. And the way you do that, you start with your veggies. So I already put some butter and oil in here because, of course, I pre-made earlier.
Okay.
And then we have our celery.
You take, what is it, about a tablespoon of butter? And you put your...
Just enough to give it some little seasoning.
Yeah. Okay.
And plus with probably like a tablespoon or half a tablespoon of olive oil. Just to saute the veggies.
Okay.
So I did about 2 or 3 stalks of celery.
Yeah.
And 1 small onion. I mean, a little tiny baby onion.
Okay.
And then just a little bit of minced garlic.
There you go.
And we combine all of those things.
All right.
And then you can zoom in a little bit over here. You see? It's already starting to smell like a little bit of Thanksgiving smell is what we're going for.
Thanksgiving, sure.
That's what we want. Because we'll add in our rosemary and our sage and our parsley in just a bit. With a little salt and pepper, of course.
All right, I'm adding in the garlic.
Yeah. So while that's kind of getting fragrant and a little translucent-y, I'm going to make sure I don't need nutmeg now.
Well, that's going. I want to show you what's happening in my pan, even though
Yes, you do that.
Yeah, that's what
Salt,
we got going on.
pepper.
Okay.
Oh, this would be
So, and this is going to go in our stuffing mixture with the cornbread and the dried cranberry, right?
That's correct. And sage. So already we're starting to mix up and get a little translucent. So I'm going to hit it with a little salt and pepper to taste.
Okay.
And I like a little extra pepper, so I'll give it a few more spins.
Okay. All right. Do your thing, honey. Do your thing. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of salt and pepper over here, too.
And I got a bit of sage that I put in.
Yeah. Do you use the natural sage leaves or?
I use the
ground sage.
I use the organic Walmart version.
Oh.
This is the emerging artist version.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I've moved up from the dollar store version, so we're getting somewhere.
All right.
And this is just a little rosemary. And see, 99-cent version of parsley.
Wow.
Because I'm still cheap.
Well, we all learn to be incredibly, frugal right now.
That's true.
We were hit. I mean, this was really devastating for most
for so many of us.
Decimating, just wipe. I had one of the best seasons that I had in years. And that was the case for so many people,
Same.
Yeah.
I had a lot of great things coming up. I was supposed to be in San Francisco right now.
Oh, really?
As a part taking part in their production of Rigoletto. But here I am. And look, I'm grateful to be here. Okay.
That's right, Reggie.
But it's just we make adjustments as we figure out. So while this is going,
yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and
I've already got my cornbread going here with my cranberry in it. I already put that together.
See?
So that's what that looks like.
Here's my cornbread that I'm gonna cut into a pork chop.
Ooh. Oh, and make your pockets for the stuff.
Okay. And make the pockets.
Okay. Woo!
I'll do 2 of these, I suppose.
All righty.
Okay.
All right. So my thing is happening here. So once it gets kind of translucent, can you add that?
Once it gets kind of translucent, you can either add the cornbread and so on into the pot, but I like to put it in a bowl. So once it kind of gets translucent, you stir it in, make sure it has a good fragrance, and then you can take it off the heat. Mine needs about another 2 minutes or so.
And this is after then you've added the parsley, the rosemary, and here we've got the parsley, the rosemary in time, and
right.
Sage, right?
Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. So
all of that.
Our center cut pork chop. This is what I was saying. So because here's the bone, here's the middle. You don't want to cut that way because you can't really make a pocket.
Yeah.
So I like to just go find the center part.
Yeah.
And then I feel that if I can cut there, it gives me freedom to move that way, or I can turn my knife over and slide back this way. So I can cut a pocket just like that.
That's beautiful.
And if I want to make it a little deeper, I just take my knife and guide it along.
That's gorgeous.
And so there's my little pocket.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. This is what's happening here now with let
me wash my hands.
From this is just delicious. I could bathe in it. Just gorgeous. Okay.
So, my veggies
right.
almost done. I'm going to move my pork chop to the side for now. I'm going to take my bowl.
Right.
Which I already made some stuffing earlier, but for the sake of showing people, I have now what I'm going to do with the rest of this cornbread is well, besides eat it, I'm going to put it in the bottom of my pan. I'm going to
Let's
put
be
it in the bottom
clear.
of the pan so it can make like dressing around the pork chops. But for now, we can just do that. And I'm using a fork because it's more simple.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I just bought some craisins or some
Oh,
dried
great.
cranberries.
Yeah.
So I can get my fingers to work. And I just add them in. I like to, you know, I like to give it a little bit of sweet to go with my savory. So I add a good amount of those.
Yeah. Okay.
And now that my veggies are done, you see that? So I can take that off.
Okay, so that gets all mixed up together. You want to see what that looks like?
Yep. Yeah, get back up there.
It looks like Thanksgiving. Isn't that beautiful? Should I take a look and see what people are saying?
Please do. I'm going to combine my veggies and cranberries with a little chicken broth so it doesn't get dried out.
Yeah.
And then I'll stuff the pocket. Just tell me when you want to come back. Or I guess you can still look and see what people are saying. Whoops. Okay.
Okay, so
Just a little broth. You can also use vegetable broth if you want.
oh right, you instead of the chicken broth, you add that to your stuffing, you mean?
Yes.
All right.
If you want to.
That's about a half a cup, right?
Yes, that's about, you know, and if it's too dry, you just add a little more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to have dry stuffing in the middle of a pork chop.
No, not at all.
And so
All right.
here I just take my fork, you know, just mix it all in so it gives you a little Thanksgiving reminder.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Look at that. I find that beautiful. I just think just looking at that is gorgeous.
Right now, I'm going to turn on my pan and just throw in a little olive oil just to.
Oh, because we're gonna fry up those chops, baby. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. All right.
So while I stuff the pork chops and put a little seasoning on the outside.
And do you have to then secure that with a toothpick or something?
I usually don't because I try not to stuff it too much.
Yeah.
But if you want to, I mean, you can make it as big as you want. It can look like a Mundo burger from Good Burger, and you just put toothpicks on it. Some 90s kids will get that reference.
Is that, I was going to say, is that something from Houston or something? Or?
No, it's from the Nickelodeon back in the day. It's fine. I'm showing my age. Don't mind me.
Oh, come on.
Welcome to the Good
All
Burger,
right,
home of the Good Burger.
Here.
And so here, I'm just going to take my fork, and this fork isn't going anywhere else but the sink, so we don't have to worry about cross-contamination.
That's right.
And I'm just stuffing this into the little pocket. And you see, I push it and I push it in, pushing it back.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about, my stuff falling out. This one I did earlier. It wasn't the best cut. See, don't do like that, everybody. But I'm still going to cook it. So we're going to do this. And then we're going to put that side down first.
Made little pockets.
It's still going to be good. So.
Okay.
Hey. Maybe a little more. Why not? Just
how many do you think you're putting in? How much you're putting in there, you think?
I'm not sure because I just eyeball it. It's not like each cut is the same size. So I don't want to say use a fourth of a cup and then you only need less than that, or you need more. Right. I'm going to wash my hand so I can season this.
And you using a paprika and cayenne pepper?
Yeah, because I like to have a little smokiness with mine. And also, I like to add a little smokiness because I think it goes well with the sweetness of the cranberries.
Oh,
Gives
yeah.
you a little sweet, savory feeling going on.
Yeah.
So I first a little
My
salt and
husband
pepper.
is so sad that he missed this. He is like so missing it. I'm using some toothpicks to secure it because I think I made my pockets perhaps a little bit too long.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
This one looks kind of good. This one came out, I think, sort of pretty good.
And so just a little paprika on top. And
Do you say paprika or paprika?
I say paprika, but
Yeah.
paprika is also, I mean, there's nothing
Tomato,
wrong with it.
tomato. Uh-huh.
It's like the people that say Parmesan versus Parmesan, or,
Or pecan and pecan. Well, you're from the South, so.
And hilariously, I use them interchangeably. So I'll say butter pecan or butter pecan ice cream.
Yeah.
But it's always pecan pie.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Butter pecan ice cream, but pecan pie.
Oh, jeez Louise.
I know. We're Southerners. We're weirdos. But we're lovely people.
So, Reggie, how did you start singing?
Duha?
How did you start singing?
I grew up singing. I'm
Yeah.
the youngest of 5 kids. So now, see, my pan is already a little crusty. So I'm going to take one side that I've already seasoned and put, you hear that?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
That's a good sound.
That is music right there to my ears. Yes.
And while that's in there, I'm just going to season the other side. Because why try to flip it over while you're, on your cooking thing? It's much easier just once it's in the pan, you just go ahead and season the other side. So I grew up singing. I grew up singing in the church. But my whole family sings. All of my brothers and sisters and
is that right?
and nephews and mom. And my mother used to sing background for a lot of gospel people.
Oh, really?
She used to sing with the Pace Sisters and, I was watching a video of LaShawn Pace sing not too long ago, and I was like, oh, look, there's my mother.
Oh, my goodness.
But, then life happens, and you have kids, and you got a husband, and hey, so there you go.
Yeah.
But my mother was also, she played the clarinet.
Oh, you have a completely musical family.
Through college. She was at Morris Brown. And so, so I grew up with music all around me. I will say my first opera was with the Atlanta Opera. I went to see Tosca with Cynthia Lawrence, who now teaches at the University of Kentucky.
Sure. She and I went to, shout out to Cynthia, she and I went to Central City together, and her husband Mark also.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then that's where I first heard a black baritone in person. My first opera, it was Donnie Ray Albert singing Scarpia.
Oh!
Right? What luxury casting.
Him.
So, side note, what I'm going to do with my extra cornbread now is
I'm going to go back
to, maybe not stab Gregory with this knife, but
what are you going to do?
I'm just going to add in oh, heck, I'll do it with my hands. And then I'm just going to make more mixture.
Yeah.
So it goes in the bottom of my pan. So
that is a great idea. Oh, Reggie, that's a great idea.
And so I'll just add in a little more cranberries and a little more broth.
Oh, how delicious.
And, it's time to turn these over.
Oh, I'm not there yet. I'm waiting for the things to get crackling over here.
A nice little crust on it already.
So would you sear that for about 2 or 3 minutes?
Yep.
On the side?
Yeah, you sear it for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I just turned my eye down so it can, chill out a little bit. And
Oh
I
my
just add
goodness.
a little
Okay,
more
well,
broth here. Um, but no, so that's when I first, that was my first opera, was Tosca.
oh
And
my
I was
goodness.
hooked.
Sure.
I bought Donny Ray Albert's In Recital CD, and
Yeah.
I listened to it all the time. I had
Yeah.
the Bryn Terrell Handel album, and I just
Uh-huh.
learned all those songs by listening to it.
Uh-huh.
I was fortunate that I studied with Elizabeth Colson. Well, I studied with Dawn Marie James, was my very first voice teacher, the
Yeah.
Jamaican lady, and she, I always loved. She said, "Oh hell, Reggie, what are these damn things?
What did she say?
This damn thing. What is this damn foolishness?" Whatever I would mess up.
Jam?
Yes, instead of damn foolishness, damn, damn.
You know, I had, oh gosh, I, there's a lot of swearing that goes on in some of these voice lessons, isn't
Oh,
there?
you better know it.
Oh my Lord.
Oh
I had a
no.
Greek voice teacher once, and she taught me all these Greek swear words, man. All right, my pork chop are going into the pan.
So I'm going to put my leftover stuffing. Give me a second here. I'm going to put my
Hear
leftover
that?
stuffing in the bottom of my pan, and then I'm going to breast my pork chops on top of it. Ooh, this can go off. So I didn't feel like having extra dishes, so I just went and bought aluminum pans.
So we're just at an hour now. I just want you to be mindful. I'm hoping
Oh,
that we
good.
can, yeah, because the pork chops take about 20 minutes,
Yeah.
right?
So you see, I'm just gonna take all this goodness here
And put that in the bottom of the pan.
and put that in the bottom of the pan.
Glory,
And I
hallelujah.
used this earlier, so it's fine. I'm just gonna move that around, and then just gonna. This is a left-handed problem. Sorry. Just gonna take my chop like that, and like that. Get some of that extra goodness for now,
Oh,
and throw it on in there.
oh my God,
And I'm
jump
gonna
to
use
the
this.
screen.
I'm gonna use these drippings to make a little gravy. So I'm just gonna leave that
Oh,
like that for
Reggie.
now. But then we just cover this and toss it in for about 20 minutes.
40 minutes?
20
20, right, yeah.
to 0.
And how's the gratin coming along?
It should be just about done,
Should
I
be
think.
just about done, I would think.
I put mine
Mine
in
is bubbling. It's
about the
bubbling.
same time as yours. So that's that.
Let me
Yeah, the
see.
gratin,
Look,
it's almost done.
this is much better than the cooking shows. Donna Andrews, thank you, Donna. That's very, very kind.
Now,
My husband said to me, "Are you going to sing?" And I said, "What? No, I hadn't planned on singing. But maybe we'll do that one.
so
Maybe not this time, but maybe the next time.
my gratin is getting there, I tell
Then
you.
the next week, a week from today, my best girlfriend, Anna Serrano, who lives in Bulgaria, will be joining me in the
Oh,
kitchen.
good.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll put our gratin back in for a little bit, but you see it's nice and crispy and bubbly. Now, the only thing, so I had made these ahead of time, right? The only
I'm
thing that
sorry.
I didn't do was add the cornbread at the bottom, the stuffing at the bottom.
Yeah. That's a
Um,
fantastic idea. Thank you so much for telling me that, because that is what is going to happen. I've got my
it's just,
pan in the oven heating up so that it hits a hot pan.
yeah, that gratin. I mean, putting the
I'm at the
stuffing
pork
at the
chop.
bottom sets it off. But I wanted to go ahead and at least make a pork chop so you can see.
Yeah, I did one. I did two too. Let me see. Can I see it?
Yep, it's right there.
Oh, honey, that's gorgeous. I'm sorry.
Let me get a bigger
That's
plate.
beautiful. Reggie. That's great. I did one too. All right. Okay.
So I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
You know, I would usually when I'm cooking, I'm listening to music.
Yeah.
And it varies. Sometimes it's the soundtrack to Dreamgirls. Sometimes it's Traviata. Sometimes it's some ratchet hip hop. But I was gonna ask, is there any type of music, or because it's Sunday, it would be gospel, right? But is there any type of music that you usually sort of gravitate towards in your free time?
Well, yeah, I listen to everything. I mean, I really do listen to everything. I have teenagers, so we hear a lot of hip hop around the house. But quite honestly, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a little bit boring. I actually really do like classical music.
I do too.
I honest to God do. And so I listen to a lot of classical music, but it's actually on now in the background, and you may not be able to hear it, but I'm going to turn over these chops.
So I'm a choir nerd, right?
Oh, look at that. Oh.
And so actually I have one of my degrees is in vocal performance, and the other one is in music education because I love teaching. I always wanted to teach high school choir. So one of the things
I'm sorry.
Big old music nerd.
I couldn't. Oh, somebody once says Reggie keep singing. Reggie, that's great, and keep singing.
Why men great till they gotta be great. So it's my audio by Lizzo. So anyway.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I missed what you were saying because my pork chops were sizzling. I just heard the music of the crackling. So
I don't blame you. That's a good crackle.
Woo!
So I was saying I actually have a degree in music education.
Oh, is that so?
12th grade. And I'm a choir nerd. So I actually sit and listen to choir music all the time.
I love choral music. I love choral music. I agree with you. Yeah.
It's good stuff. Let me see what this looks like. Just grab a quick knife and fork and see if this looks like something. This is without any gravy or anything. This is just straight up coming out. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I've got about 2 minutes more on this side, and then I'm going to put it in my pan. So let me take my pan out of the oven. How is it?
It made me drop my fork. That's good.
That's how good it was.
Oh, yes.
Yummy, Reggie. All right.
My Lord.
The glass should be done.
Hold on just a second. I'm going to be real nice.
All right.
Go ahead. That was a fork from the helper. Now, do you usually make gravy as well?
Usually. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't do it all the time. I don't do it all the time, no. But
yeah,
I think that Tony Griffey is, if you're in the audience, hey, shout out to Tony. I think that Tony is, do you know Tony Griffey? Have you ever worked with him?
I do. I love Tony Griffey.
Come on. I mean, just magnificent person. And when we were doing Marnie last season at the Met, we were talking about food. And he said, do you know how to make smothered pork chops? And I was like, what? Of course. So he came to my apartment. It was just the two of us. And I made him smothered pork chops.
Oh, Tony Griffey.
Yeah.
We love him. So you can deglaze your pan.
Yeah.
Either using white wine or you can use chicken broth. Just to get some of the goodness up. And then you add in a little flour water mixture and let it thicken, and then there's an easy gravy using the stuff that's already here. But this gratin,
it must be done. Come on.
Oh, absolutely. And it looks delicious. But let me go ahead and...
It's such a lovely way to spend a Sunday afternoon. In the future, could we possibly get ingredients? Yes, of course. Oh, that's Claire. That's one of my colleagues from Peabody. I'm sorry about that, Claire. I thought that they had included the ingredients. Absolutely. So we will make sure that that happens the next time, of course. But we gave them the all of the recipes and the ingredients. I thought
We
that
have the full recipes
I
and
thought it was on the link,
ingredients
but I guess not.
and
All right.
everything, so you can cook at home if you want.
So look, here are my chops. They're ready to go into the oven.
Beautiful. Here's my au gratin.
Chops.
We're gonna rest that back there for now. Actually, let's move him over here. And we're gonna move our au gratin over. Now I'm just gonna whisk up this
A little gravy.
uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, so another fun story, which I don't know if you remember. The first time besides that Samson and Delilah, the first time I got to sing with you was actually at the World Equestrian Games.
Oh,
in Lexington.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. I was in the background.
All right, so I'm taking out, oh, that is bubbling like crazy. So look at that. That is glorious.
The other thing that's funny about that
Let me show you that. I just want everybody to see that. That is bubbling like crazy.
Ooh. Yeah, see, ours is also nice and
Yes, set you free. Wonderful.
William Shatner was one of the people at the event because he has a home in Lexington.
And here the chops are going in.
Yeah, he was supposed to go around the horse track one time, but people were clapping, so he decided to do another loop, and it almost threw off the whole program because it was all timed.
Reggie, do you cover the chops with foil in the
Yes.
Yeah.
I covered it with foil just so it stays so it doesn't dry out.
Yeah.
You don't have to cover it with foil, but I find that if it's covered with foil, it stays juicy. And
yeah.
I don't want any dry pork chop. So
no.
And then for the very last like 5 minutes, you can uncover it.
Yeah.
And then that way it still has that sort of outside crunch, but it's not dried up.
Right.
Let me get
Woo! All right. So everything is done. I mean, not done, but in the oven. We've got 20 minutes on the chops. Let me set that. But the gratin is done, and the zucchini bread will be done shortly.
Yeah.
And we did it. We made it.
And I'm just gonna, I'm gonna make a little flour and water here. Throw that in the pan and maybe add a little salt and pepper, and yeah.
And we're there.
Because what's Sunday supper without a little gravy?
Oh, come on. I mean, I believe that's important, I'm sorry?
Miss Denyce.
Yes.
You've done so many cool things. Are there any standout things that you have done that's not opera that you would like to share? Like I saw a video of you singing with BB Winans,
I've done a lot of things, a lot of beautiful things like that with Ray Charles, with the late, great Whitney Houston.
Oh, what did you do with Whitney Houston?
We, believe it or not, we opened up the NJ Pack Center.
Oh, wow.
Back in the day. I will say I didn't have very much interaction because you know how it is when you have to sing. Everybody's worried about their own part. You're worried about what it is that you have to do. And so I was really preoccupied with what I had to do. And but it was still thrilling, Well, I have to think about it, but I've done lots of, really, really wonderful and interesting things and met the most beautiful people ever. I mean, for me, the whole thing has been a blessing, but the people that I have met along the way have just been the greatest, greatest, greatest joy.
So I just added in my flour and water mixture to the bottom, and you see it already has that.
Oh, I see that. It's happening.
It already has that
Cleaning up
gray
the
color.
dishes here. I guess I should get going on that because the chops only take about 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, oh, this could actually use a little more water.
So I'm sorry, sweetheart. I was like doing something when you were telling. So what did you do? You did like a roux. You took some.
So what I did is I kept my pan drippings, the
Yeah.
sort of leftovers from the pork chops, right?
Sure.
And then I used white wine, even though you can also just use chicken broth or veggie broth.
Yeah.
And I added it to the pan
Yeah.
until it got to a simmer, and I just used
Yeah.
a little handy dandy fork and just scrape some of the goodness off the bottom.
Yeah. Get that. Sure.
Once it started to boil, I just added some flour and some water to create a little slurry, if you will.
You do water, not. I mean, you do flour, not cornstarch.
You can also do cornstarch.
Yeah.
Both of them are thickening agents. I just chose to use flour because it was in front of me, but I could also do cornstarch.
Right.
And then I added that cornstarch or flour and water mixture to my simmering pan.
Okay.
And then this is what we have here. So we already have our gravy consistency here. Let me use this spoon so you can see the color. And then you just let it simmer until it starts to get thick enough. And then you add salt, pepper, whatever you want to season it. Yeah.
All right, I'm on that.
And then, of course, you just pour it over your pork chops and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
How long have our pork chops been in the oven? I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. Why mean great till they gotta be great?
There's the gratin.
Oh, wait, it's Sunday. I should be singing gospel.
Yes, because my mom wants me sure.
My soul look back and wonder how I got
over.
Did you ever work with Aretha Franklin?
Yes, she loved opera singers. Did I work with her? No, I didn't work with her. I worked a lot in Detroit. The wonderful late Dr. D.
Yes.
And they were friendly. And she loved opera.
Oh,
and
yeah.
One year at the Kennedy Center Honors, I just had an exchange with her. And she said, Denyce Graves. And first of all, I thought I was going to fall over that Aretha Franklin knew my name. I was like, what? And she said, I wanted you to know that I'm a fan. And I said, what? She said, yeah, I'm a fan. And I didn't get a photo or anything like that because I'm always very cautious of that thing. And I
understand.
Not my nature to be, really gregarious in that way. I'm usually pretty introverted, particularly in situations like that. And I just was so surprised. And, so I said, oh my goodness, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And, who doesn't love you? We all just have, I grew up listening to, we all did, right?
Right.
These were great, great, great heroes, iconic figures, for us.
You better think about what you're trying to do to me. Think about what you let yourself be free.
Oh, freedom.
Freedom.
You sounded like her. You sounded just like her. Oh, freedom.
Oh, and if anybody was wondering, I am wearing my Phi Mu Alpha Symphonia shirt. It's a music fraternity. I was in the Alpha Gamma chapter at the University of Kentucky.
That's awesome.
Cheryl Mills is also in the same fraternity, along with Carlisle Floyd, who received the Lifetime Achievement Award not too long ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
I love him. I didn't, as you know, because maybe we've spoken about it, I did my apprenticeship with Houston Grand Opera. And he, of course, was the composer in residence. And so, and so we workshopped, I workshopped so much of his material, Bilby's Doll and Wuthering Heights and all these fantastic stuff. And he used to come to my voice lessons. He used to come to my, he would sit in on my voice lessons. And, and then he would, because the role of Nicey in The Passion of Jonathan Wade, he wrote me. which
Oh, wow.
he would sit in on my lessons and ask me which notes were good and what felt okay, and that was just amazing. And he was just so much fun too.
Yeah.
I
I had
love.
the opportunity to work with him when we were workshopping his latest opera, Prince of Players. And he was still on it, It was fantastic. He's still kicking.
God bless him. God bless him. What a fantastic human being.
So one of
And
the
so gifted. I'm sorry?
No, I was gonna say, since you mentioned it, how was your time in the Houston? So we're both alums of the Houston Grand Opera
Stories
Studio.
are just amazing as the cooking.
Who are you in the studio with, and how would you describe your time while we're waiting for things to finish cooking?
Right. So I had a great time. I mean, I had a great time. People, were telling me, oh my God, you go in Houston, there's like, the humidity and the flying cockroaches, you're going to like suffer so much. I had the time of my life. I was there with Marquita Lister. You know Marquita.
Absolutely.
That's right. Idri Means, I don't know if you know her. She's teaching more now. She went into musical theater. She actually is my daughter who sings.
Oh, nice.
Her first voice teacher. Yeah.
That small world.
Yeah. Jem Demler, I'm not sure that he is singing anymore. I'm not sure that many of them are still, in the business singing, but they're still very much involved in the business, right?
Oh, what did my aunt say?
Looks great, Reggie.
Sorry, my aunt commented apparently, so there we go.
Looks great, Reggie. Was that Auntie?
Yes, it is. And they should
Auntie
know.
Laverne. Hi, Auntie Laverne. That's yummy.
I try to cook. They know how to cook.
They know how to cook.
My aunts and my cousin, they have a restaurant in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And when I was just in Atlanta for the Atlanta Opera, I asked them to come and cater one of the rehearsals.
You did.
And so you know how these what do I have to look at?
Look at this direction. Yeah.
Oh, I'm that way? Oh, sorry. So you know how these opera rehearsals and things, usually if they provide food, it's a nice little sandwich and, which is wonderful. But I figured we're in Atlanta and we were doing porgy. So I figured we should probably have some soul food.
Okay.
And so we had, I think, 2 different types of chicken, barbecue pork, greens, cornbread. We had 2 different types of cake, sweet tea. And everyone was like, who made this? And I was like, oh, my aunt and my cousin and my uncle.
Oh, my goodness. Have you ever cooked for a large group of people, Reggie?
Yeah, so I'm the youngest of 5. So I grew up cooking for big groups. It's actually harder for me to cook for small groups.
Yeah.
A couple of Thanksgivings ago, another person that you should have on your show, Mezzo Jamie Barton, who's also from Georgia.
I love Jamie Barton.
She can cook.
She can cook?
Oh, yes, she can.
I heard can cook. I'm going to get back to Jamie. I love Jamie Barton.
Oh,
I heard that, some years ago, I had a fried chicken competition here at my house. Yes, I did, with my voice teacher, Peggy Baruti, and my pianist, Laura Ward. Because what happened was I was on the phone with Laura one day. We were, talking about something. And I said to her, oh, my God, I just had the best fried chicken that I've ever had. And I told her where I got it, this place where I got it. And she said, oh, but you should taste my fried chicken. What I do is I let it soak overnight in buttermilk, and I do this and that, and I do a brine, and it's awesome. And then Peggy said, and Peggy's also they're both. This is amazing. Somebody says. Peggy said, "Oh yeah, but Peggy's also a really good cook." And she adds an extra ingredient in her fried chicken that's delicious. So we said, well, let's have a fried chicken cook-off. So it was here in my house. We had this fried chicken cook-off. We had judges and everything. We had the real Southern judges, and nobody knew whose chicken was whose.
Oh, yes.
And we gave out trophies and all of that. Okay, and I kind of won. If they're in the audience, I know they're screaming right now. Oh, Patrick McCoy. Hi, Patrick. Well, let me tell you what happened. They said I cheated, okay? I don't think I cheated that much. Because what happened was I told her that I had tasted this chicken, which was the best chicken I had, and I got it from this store. I didn't say that my chicken was the best chicken. I said that I got this chicken from the store, which was the best chicken that I ever had. And she said, she being Laura Ward, said, well, you haven't tasted my chicken. And then Peggy said, yeah, but you haven't tasted my chicken. At no time did I ever say, you haven't tasted my chicken. So we had this chicken competition. They were like, where are you cooking? I said, I'm in the garage. They're like, where are you cooking? Because they were both here in the kitchen. So I came in with my chicken. And my chicken won. But it wasn't my chicken. It was the chicken that was from the store.
Let me just throw that up there for now.
Okay, I'm just waiting on my gravy. I'm doing the dishes, but I'm all good. The gratin is fried chicken audition.
I'm just adding a little gravy to my pork chop.
Hashtag fried chicken auditions. Hey, well, there was a grant, I think it was Goldovsky. They used to say before people came for coachings, would have the singers go into the kitchen to cook. Because he believed that it took the same kind of finesse, it took the same kind of feeling for cooking that it is for singing. And that was the initiation before the coaching, if you could cook in the kitchen. So
interesting. Well, which brings me back to Jamie Barton, who is a really great cook.
Timer.
See, we got there. Good. We did Thanksgiving together a couple of years ago. And we being as Southern as can be, we thought, well, we'll invite the people from the show and you can make a turkey and I'll do a chicken. We'll do a couple of sides and that's fine. Of course, we had a turkey, a ham,
oh God,
2 different chickens.
Oh Lord.
We had greens and cornbread and I think I made like 2 things of macaroni and cheese and we had so much food.
Right.
It was great because we both were just, making up for not being home during Thanksgiving, and cooking with friends is always great. So
I did a Thanksgiving dinner. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
I'm going to pull my
delicious
pork chops out of the oven here and uncover them.
Already?
I think so.
It's about 20
Yours went in before I did. So
yeah.
I did a Thanksgiving dinner once. I was singing at the Teatro Real in Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Thanksgiving, and I loved that. I think Thanksgiving is the best holiday. I mean, that's my favorite. I love Thanksgiving. And so I wanted to do an American Thanksgiving for all of my Spanish friends. But how are we going to find a turkey? We're going to get a turkey, right? And so I don't know if we can find one, Denise. I don't know if we're going to find that. And a friend of mine found it and brought back the turkey, like the actual turkey.
Oh my goodness!
Feathers on, the whole thing, the head, the everything. Now that was something. That was something.
That's wow.
Yeah. It was like, you Americans, you Americans, you have to understand that, the food does not come from the grocery store, So that was really something, like getting the turkey, that messed me up a little bit. I still love turkey and I still love Thanksgiving. So.
Poor turkey. I bet it was still delicious.
All right. We're there.
Yeah. I just put my pork chops back in the oven for a few minutes to give them a little color and a little crust. But well, it's not the prettiest looking plate, but you get the idea of at least one chop that I've already cut open with the stuffing, and I added a little gravy to it.
Very good.
Once the other one comes out, I can make a prettier plate, but hey, I'm still going to eat it.
Heck yeah. That's beautiful. All right, I guess it's time.
I think so.
I guess it's about that time. Let me get mine together. I've got my gravy going here.
Go ahead. I'm going to look at your plate.
Has it been 20 minutes?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't been keeping the timer.
Oh, please. I'll just let that go back in there a little bit longer, but we're all ready to plate here.
Way to heaven.
What a day of rejoicing that'll be.
I was trying to think of a good gospel song for the day. Which one you got?
Well, we know them all. When I go to church with my kids, they're like, "Do you know every song that's ever?" Yeah, yeah. When you grow up in the church,
it's a highway
to
heaven.
Oh, none can come up there, but the pure in heart.
It's a high. Oh, so another random question for you, since I have you on the list. How low can you comfortably sing?
Low.
Because I know for years you've always had this wonderful contralto low, but you were still able to sing the top. But it's so full. You know what's been trending recently on Facebook is the video of you singing "Old Man River."
Yeah. So Laura told me about that. She told me, she said, "Denyce, somebody put that up there from some years ago in Dubrovnik,
Right?
which was a gorgeous place to be." No, my voice is very, very low. So a low B.
I think she's singing this in the key lower than me, and it sounds better.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, I'm just my chops are getting a little tint to them.
All right, I just want to show you what's going on here.
Yeah, give me like another minute, and those pork chops are gonna come out, and you'll see them with the stuffing and all that. My gravy is done. Let me taste this. Let me look at your. Ooh.
All right now.
That's pretty.
It's gorgeous.
Let me taste this.
And I got my gravy here.
This cauliflower. I mean cauliflower. Goodness. Right there.
All right.
Ooh, that's good.
Is it good?
This gratin.
The gratin.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ooh.
Very good. Well, I mean, I think that's it. We've held people up for an hour and a half.
Well, hold on. Let me pull this out.
There's my other pork chops, and the zucchini bread is done too.
And
Whoops.
yeah, I think that's. I could probably leave it in and give it a little more crust to it. You can zoom in if you want.
Right.
So you see?
That's beautiful, honey.
And if I'll probably put them back in so they can get a little darker.
Yeah.
And a little more crust, but that's great. And then you just scoop it out and serve it with some of that stuffing.
Yeah.
Throw some gravy on top.
Into the stuff. Into the Sunday dinner, honey. Sunday dinner. Here we are. Look at that. Look at how that is. Honey, I have loved every second of this. Ooh, look at that. Now you need a little salad with that, but look at that. That's gorgeous.
You know, maybe I'll throw some green beans or something on the side.
You need some greens on top of that. And then we got to go get our steps. You got to make sure you get steps in.
That's the reason we do it in the afternoon. So you can step at night. Well, you know, it's still Houston. It's still, you know, Satan degrees outside. So I'm going to toss this back in. But that's Great. Ah, get back up.
You like it?
I do. This has been fun.
I've loved it.
And we have the recipes and the ingredients, so I'm sure they'll post them so people can follow along or try it out at home. But
there's Myrna. Hi, Myrna. Hi, Myrna. Myrna Sislin. She's a wonderful classical guitarist. She has Middle C Music out in Washington, D.C. You guys go visit Middle C. I think that they're open. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Donna Andrews, you have made my weekend much better. Oh, isn't that lovely?
Oh, there you go.
This is so, so, so good. Thank you for the beautiful cooking show, Maria Antoinette. And Maria Freeman. Oh, she and I went to school together. We went to Duke Ellington School in Washington, D.C. together. And I didn't know your middle name was Antoinette. That's my middle name, too. Thank you, guys. I'm so hungry. I can't wait for the next edition. That's Claire. Sweet Claire, thank you so much. It's delicious. And I didn't show you the bread, but the bread is good, too.
Well, and now you have a little less zucchini growing, So
everybody, thank you so much. Thank you so very much for your time today and all of your magnificent support. Reggie, thank you so much. You're just such a delight, and it was such a pleasure to get to know you more.
Thank you. And hopefully we get to share the stage again very soon.
So be that. So be it. From your mouth to God's ear, may that be so. So a friend of mine sent me a song this morning, my beautiful friend Ronald Smith, whom I love so much. He sent me a beautiful song, Here's to Life, with Shirley Horn singing. There was a phrase that captured, that made an impression on me so much. It says that who knows what tomorrow may bring or take away. So create something beautiful for yourself and your family. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. It was so much fun. Thank you. Here's to life. Here's to life.